This is Angela with The Passion on what has turned out to be a pretty nice Tuesday afternoon. We're going to go and do our daily route from Bay to South U down to the church site, and hopefully there'll be some new adventures to record for you guys. So, Jesus ready? Check. God's ready? Check. We are ready for takeoff. Alright, we're at the corner of 266th Place in U, and today we're going to be working with these three elements: prayer cards, heaven money mana, and candy, aka los dulces. The one thing that I would emphasize with respect to the saints, because some people say, oh, well, the Catholics, they worship, these people, they don't take their prayers to God directly, they have people intercede for them, and da-da-da-da-da. But interestingly, when I saw a poll, I think it was last year, 80% of the people surveyed in this huge survey globally said that they were Catholic. So today's St. Vincent de Paul Day, and the thing about prayer cards with me is that, and this whole thing of sainthood, to me, it's about people who did things that people would consider insurmountable. People who sacrificed their lives, who dedicated and devoted their lives to Jesus, who did phenomenal things in their lives, and are simply recognized on a particular day for their contributions to the world. So I don't necessarily think that receiving a prayer card stands out or stamps, Catholic. It's just that these were real people that lived lives that most people were never able to really measure to or to match. And there are thousands of saints. My son was born on St. Angela's Day, which is January 27th. And so I kind of feel in a lot of ways like I've learned a lot from her life and her example. She assembled 10 or 12 people and created an order, and now they have St. Angela Mercy School. There's a lot of St. Angela out there. So if someone gives you a prayer card, it's really about the image on the front, and on the back sometimes they have ways to pray or whatever. I don't know. I've seen people walk around with prayer cards in their wallets or, whatever, and to me, I think that I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, as long as they're not worshiping these people. Everything that you want handled between you and God should be between you and God. So that's my take on that. Alright, let's move along. We're at the paper place where we're going to drop our prayer card into the USA Today thing. And we're getting USA Today because freaking Oregonian's like 25 cents more, and I ain't paying for that. I can get my news for free. But I think I'm going to go with a Pope John Paul card. All of my prayer cards have 7s on the back of them. That's how you know. So we'll go ahead and plug the machine. Ugh, this camera I need a cameraman. Okay. We open it up. To left. Take our paper. Put down the prayer card. Check to see if there's any codes. See a code and yada yada. And that is it. Alright, best to move along. We are just south of Bay and U, picking up your trash today. Oh my goodness, I have a feeling there's going to be an influx of garbage on this particular pathway coming up in the next month or so. But the good news is, when we've got our gloves, you feel the loves. I don't know, I can market anything. I could market air. Anyway, let's move along. And we're out at Daddy's playground for Christopher to run around and play. what we did today was I tracked the garbage volume and made a couple drops. One thing that's fascinating to know that I've learned from homeless people, ironically, and I always typically wear gloves when I do this, but when I make a drop at an ashtray, I know that sounds so silly. She puts stuff in an ashtray, but what I do is I'll peek inside the garbage can and see if there's anything like on the surface that fits my fancy or, you know, that I want to grab. And today I grabbed this magazine. It's Boat US magazine. It belonged originally to Harvey P. Sloan in Bothell, Washington, which is, oh my God, Bothell, Washington is like hours away. It's up where my friend James lives. And I'm like thinking, okay, well, whatever. So it was sitting on the top. It hadn't been damaged or had anything thrown on top of it. So what it is the Boat Owners Association of the United States publishes this magazine. And if you look through my pictures on my profile, you'll see a picture of this wrecked boat that's along the pathway that I walk on. And hang on. Okay. I don't have anything. You spilled your juice, bub. You spilled your juice, honey. I know we're not going to stay for very long. And so, hang on, I'll be back. Anyway, what I do when I find magazines like this, I've found Modern Bride, I've found People, I've found all kinds of magazines throughout the years, just by looking, taking a peek inside a trash can. And I know that sounds really odd. Why would you look through a freaking garbage can? But when I was up in Seattle, my friend James and I went to the Brown Bear car washes everywhere, and I was constantly finding cool stuff. I found a whole rack of chalk one time, some Rod Stewart and Pink Floyd, and a bunch of CDs in pristine condition. And I used to think to myself, like, people have to be planning this here. There's just no way I could stumble upon these treasures. And that's why I talk about treasure's trash, trash is treasure, because I'm going to take the Boat magazine and I'm going to make a collage out of it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of it and I'm going to post it on Facebook, and I'm going to say, anybody want a boat? It's just wedding paraphernalia. So, yeah, I'll probably be taking a boat ride. And I've traveled on many bayliners, and I used to have jet skis with my ex-boyfriend or ex-fiance, and pool tables and tanning beds. And, I mean, you know, he loved his toys and whatnot. But, anyway, we put a packet of exfoliating cream, which was like a clearance item, 99 cents. I don't put like $5 items anymore. I don't spend money. I just don't have it to spend to be running around, you know, leaving expensive things like how I used to be able to. But it's all really designed to educate people on how to kind of make their lives a little bit more idiosyncratic, a little bit more kind of odd. And, you know, there were places that I went where, you know, I dealt with needles around me, and I had to be really, really careful of that. And I didn't mess around with people who were shooting up when I was in Seattle, because it was too big of a risk for me to take with my own personal health. But there was a guy, Paul, who was end-stage AIDS, and he died during a 2-week period that I had interacted with him. And I talk about that in one of my very first videos. So anyway, we picked up the magazine, made a couple drops, and interestingly, I have a whole Thriftway bag filled with people's trash that I'm going to make into treasures. And if this isn't a big sign from God, I don't know what is. Somebody placed a big, huge, ginormous garbage bag on the ground, completely empty or whatnot. So I don't know, man, somebody put it there, but I guess that was a sign from God to say, keep doing what you're doing, fill her up, fill her up, fill her up, fill her up. So anyway, that's where we're at.